Hey, you're about to listen to Believe It or Not.
We're two guys who don't really know what we're talking about, and sometimes we say things we probably shouldn't.
That's right, so take everything with a grain of salt. And also, if you do like what you hear, maybe rate us on iTunes or share us with your friends.
Yeah, get over there. Like, rate, share, comment.
Yeah, and tell us what you think.
I got hymns here. Get them while they're holy, fresh from God's brain to your mouth.
He's God here in this radio station. Smite me! Almighty smiter!
The Bible is black and white.
I have such doubts.
Get out of here, devil!
I'm a God, I'm not the God. I don't think.
And you will know my name is the Lord!
We're on a mission from God.
Hey everybody, welcome to Believe It or Not.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I heard you were a little upset.
Oh, yeah. So, if you can believe this, Cody and I, last night, we ordered some food.
Yeah.
We ordered some clubhouse sandwiches.
I love a good clubhouse sandwich.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that usually, right?
Right.
You think it's a pretty simple thing and hard to do wrong.
Yeah.
But they did it wrong.
Oh, you prefer chicken and they put turkey?
No, they put ketchup and mustard on a clubhouse sandwich with onions, and then they didn't cut the sandwich at all.
That's some serious bullshit.
So it was just like 4 pieces of Texas toast with lettuce and bacon soaked in ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise.
That is upsetting.
And the chicken was just like little chunks of, I don't know, bullshit chicken.
That sounds awful.
I'm still mad about it right now.
Yeah. I can't stand that.
Yeah, it really upset me.
Did you went to college?
Yes, I went to college.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you when you went to college, did you have to read books?
Yeah.
Okay, and you did homework?
Yeah, I'm curious where this is going.
When you went to college, I guess you had 2 degrees, right? Is that you?
Yes and no. Well, I have 1 degree, and then one's was like a diploma kind of program.
Okay,
thing.
so but
yes.
they're in like theater, right?
Roundabout.
Okay, so I went. I went to Bible college.
Yeah.
But the college I went to was an accredited school.
Mm-hmm.
There was some bullshit stuff. Like I remember one class was called spiritual. Well, I mean it's Bible college. There's some bullshit stuff. But more or less, you read books.
Yeah.
You took tests. You sat in a classroom and a professor would teach things.
Mm-hmm.
There was one class I took called Spiritual Formations where the teacher was obsessed with like coloring projects, and that would make me so mad. Like I am not paying tuition money to color in a coloring book. And I remember it was always the last 45 minutes of the class that she would do these projects with us. Mm-hmm. And so I would just skip out early every week because I didn't care. And she got so mad at me. Like she pulled me into her office and said I need to be taking this seriously. And I was like, okay. But I'm thinking I'm taking it seriously because I don't want to color.
What I find funny about that is in high school, the coloring projects are like, yeah, fucking coloring project. I don't have to do any work. But then, you're at Bible college and you don't want to do
the coloring. I don't want to waste my time. I could be at work or, doing something that isn't me being there. Maybe I just didn't like from the beginning. But anyways, what if I told you that there was a Christian version of Hogwarts?
Like Harry Potter?
From Harry Potter.
Yeah. Okay.
The students themselves.
I thought a lot of people in the Christian community, well, maybe not so much anymore, but they weren't a big fan of.
No. A lot of Christians
H-pots.
Still probably don't like the H-pots, but definitely when it came out, it was like that fear that it was like the devil trying to teach them.
I remember in public school, and I remember hearing about it, and I didn't really understand. This was even before I started reading it, and then when I did read it, I'm like, why are people upset about this?
Yeah, it was so dumb. But no, this school. They teach supernatural ministry.
Okay.
They're called Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry. And this is a school in Redding, California.
Okay.
That has 2,400 students. And they all go there to learn how to prophesy, do miracles, and other supernatural things.
Okay, like what? Other supernatural... Like, do they cast spells?
They cast out demons.
They can cast demons?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they speak in tongues, and they...
Well, speaking in tongues, that doesn't do anything for me on the miracle spectrometer.
Yeah. Well, even, like, I was watching some videos of these guys, and they're talking about... I mean, you see somebody step out of a wheelchair, and it's, like, amazing, and we see God right in front of us. It's like, okay, great. Let's see some evidence. Yeah. Let's see that person go to the doctor. And
how do you know they were in the wheelchair before?
Yeah.
You saw them in the wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly. So this actually, the first time I ever heard of this school was a friend of mine was actually planning on going to the school.
Okay.
And at the time, I was kind of encouraging her to, like, yeah, just follow your dreams, do what you do. And because I didn't know much about the school, and I started watching some videos of...
Oh, they have videos of this.
They have videos of, like... Because the main church is this church called Bethel Church. And so they're in Redding, California, and it's... the pastor is this guy named Bill Johnson.
Okay.
So he's a very, like, interesting, like, engaging person to watch speak. And
I feel that's a very common thing for a lot of these. I think part of getting something like this off the ground is you have to be at least interesting to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. But he joined that church in 1996. Before that, the church started in 1952. It was a small, like, house church, and then they started renting, like, the Legion Hall or whatever, like the Veterans Hall.
Yep.
And then eventually they bought a used church, and were there for a while, and then ended up expanding, and now they have like 9,000 people that attend every week. So it's a pretty big church, kind of focused on like miracles, things like that. But yeah, so this friend of mine told me to check this guy out. He's a phenomenal speaker, and at the same time, I was also looking at like other quack faith healers and stuff, and I was like kind of obsessed with this guy named Todd Bentley, who was like, a lot of these faith healers are really smooth with what they do, and like they're very convincing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
This guy was not at all, and he's still around, but it's so fake and so obviously fake, but he has so many followers. And I was like, oh, has anybody seen this? Okay. And then like I was talking to that friend and some other friends who like thought the guy was like completely legit. And then I see this video of this Bill Johnson guy, like, blessing him, like, praying over him and saying that you're doing God's work and stuff. I was like, oh, this is weird and this is sketchy. And then that same guy that year, he cheated on his wife with one of the people in his ministry. And he quickly divorced his wife and married her. And it just went on. Like, his ministry just kept going. And everyone's like, yeah, this is fine.
I feel something like that seems to be a lot more forgivable today, but I mean, you're saying that he was someone who's not even necessarily a good speaker in that regard.
Yeah, and everybody just keeps like, yep, he's a good guy.
I mean, at the same time, I can also see that, because there's plenty of like things I'll listen to or shows I'll hear where I'll try and get into it, and the person speaking is not a good speaker. Yeah, they still have tons of listens and things like that. Yeah, I'm sure people listening right now are probably judging the way I speak.
Yeah, same, I guess.
Which I understand. I totally understand that, but it's so interesting from someone, I guess, from a faith-based kind of perspective. It's less about how he's speaking and what he's speaking about that speaks to them.
But yeah, because I saw one clip of him and his now wife where she was prophesying about, and by the way, I'm going way off topic.
Oh, she prophesizes as well?
Yeah, okay. I'm going way off topic here, talking about Todd Bentley, but this was so funny, like just the way she was describing her dream that she had about meeting Oral Roberts, who was a big evangelical person in the past, and the way she was shaking about how she met him in a dream, and like she's just shaking back and forth, and then I met Oral Roberts, and it was just so funny. But anyways, the school though started in 1998, 2 years after Bill Johnson joined.
Was the school in the church, or did they get a separate building?
It started in the church. So it was really a guy named Kris Vallotton that word there. Valentin? Did I just like
Valentin? Yeah, something like that.
Valentine? Maybe I just
you might have.
I might have fucked up the spelling. It's just Valentine. Kris Vallotton.
Kris V.
Valentine. Vallotton. It doesn't matter. This guy, he's really the one who started the school. Started with 37 students, now has 2,400 students. Most of what I read about it was from one BuzzFeed article where the writer went and just like hung out at the school for a number of days.
Yeah.
Very big class sizes. Basically, they rent the Civic Center in town. Mm-hmm. And everybody goes into like the gym or whatever and listens to these basically sermons.
Do people... Okay, so you go into a civic center and you listen to a sermon, and that's class?
Yeah. So actually, I'll read from their own website.
Okay. This is probably better.
Class size. Mm-hmm. Students learn in a large group session of 650 second year to 1,300 first year. So that's in a class. Classes of 20 to 200 people. So that's a smaller class. Mm-hmm. And then revival groups, whatever that is, of 60 to 70 people. And then small groups of 5 first year. That's if you're in your first year. And then personal study.
Okay.
But so, yeah, that's a big class size.
It's a big class.
Yeah. Reading is a large part of our curriculum, so plan on reading 30 to 60 minutes a day. There are approximately 2,400 pages of mandatory reading, which include the Bible and instructional books. Most of those instructional books, as I figured out, are written by Kris Vallotton.
So the guy himself wrote the book.
Yeah.
Okay, I've had a few professors in my experiences who wrote the books.
Yeah.
Which is always an interesting... I mean, why else would you become a professor but to sell your book, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Actually, I meant to pull up his Amazon book list and read some of the titles, so I'm just going to do that now.
I also find that that's something very interesting, is how often people read the Bible.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I mean, if I read a book once, I'm done with it.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's how often people read parts of the Bible, because a lot of times, like, people aren't reading the Bible start to finish. Like,
they just
most
highlight
Christians will go their whole life without reading any of it.
Which is also very bizarre.
Yeah, it's just Vallotton. I don't know where I got that with from.
It might have been Kris Vallotton with someone else or something.
And then I just added it.
Typos. This is a little behind the scenes for everyone listening.
Behind the scenes. Okay, so some of his books are as follows. Poverty, Riches, and Wealth. Spirit Wars. Basic Training for the Prophetic Ministries.
Is this all one book?
No, these are different books.
Okay.
Supernatural Ways of Royalty. Mm-hmm. Destined to Win. School of the Prophets. Basic Training for Supernatural.
Basic Trainings for Supernatural.
Yeah.
That one sounds fun.
Yeah.
Is that like Defense Against the Dark Arts?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he is the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. So the BuzzFeed article that I was reading was saying that they went to one of the classes, and the person who wrote the article had a leg brace, and a student came over and asked if they could pray, and then other students kind of went around and started praying over their knee, and then it was like, you want to test it out? You want to take the brace off? It's like, and they're like, I really can't. Like, I can't take the brace off. It's like, no, you gotta have faith. It's like, no, I just don't want to wreck my knee. Yeah. And then people were like, I guess almost offended that they didn't want to test it out. So like, well, I don't feel any difference, and I don't, like, I'm just here to write an article, basically. Like,
yeah.
And then, like, students are also encouraged to go out and practice in public. Like, that's a main thing that they're supposed to do. So they'll go to, like, grocery stores and stuff and wait outside, and if they see someone with a wheelchair, they, like, pounce on them, basically. But this is a town of 90,000 people.
Okay, so they're training people to be annoying.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, if you're in a wheelchair in that town, you're constantly having
you're going to see these people every day.
Yeah, and they actually had to, the school had to ask the students to stop going to touristy spots because they were losing, like, tourists who didn't want to come there because... Yeah.
I don't blame them. I wouldn't go either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I saw an interview, it might have actually been with Todd Bentley. Maybe I should have just done this episode on him. But in that small town
we'll do a follow-up.
Yeah, exactly. That small town where he is, this one woman in a wheelchair was saying, like, she is so tired of the people, like, just going up and, like, harassing her all the time. And
I bet that's how how all the old ladies feel around like the Boy Scouts headquarters, because they're always trying to help them cross the street.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I don't want to cross the street.
Yeah. And then another thing is prophecy, as we've discussed, is a big part of that. In the article, the BuzzFeed article, they were talking about how the students went up. Some of the students went up because it was their turn for prophecy class or whatever to like prophesy, and it was basically like the way they described it. It sounded like your basic cold reading. Like, is there anybody named Jeff here who has a pain in their leg or whatever it is, right?
Okay, so that's not a prophecy.
Yeah, exactly.
When I think prophecy, I think it's like it's like on the third moon of
exactly.
the last year.
Like but then they had the professional come up and do it, and he was like, the specific thing he said was, is there a Judah here who has something to do with judges? And then there was a kid there whose name was Judah who lived on Judge Street. And it just reminded me so much of that Peter Popoff clip from, have you seen The Amazing Randy when he found that the guy had that earbud in his ear? Like, it seems like there's just something more to it. Like there was prayer cards or something like that.
Very well could be. It could also have just been a coincidence at the time as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course you're going to see the one time when they get the coincidental thing. And not the thousands of other times where nothing concrete happens.
That's what happens with cold readings, and that's what happens with these prophecies, is that people you only remember the hits and you just forget the misses, you put them aside. So I want to read their statement of faith, kind of what the school is about.
Yep.
So BSSM is designed to be a ministry training center where our students embrace their royal identity, learn the value of the kingdom, walk in the authority and power of the king. It is a transformational experience in your life that will forever be impacted. So this is basically I don't know. It's not a school.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like a big 3-year church.
Yeah.
And
how much money does this cost? I think that's
over $4,000.
Okay, $4,000 a year or $4,000
a year.
Okay.
And it's not accredited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't. You can't transfer any credits or anything, and you don't get a degree or anything. You just get a certificate. You can't get financial aid or student loans for it.
I mean, in the States, $4,000 a year is. I think it's pretty cheap.
It's cheap. It is cheap. Yeah. But
so if you're cheap and delusional,
yeah, exactly.
This is the place to go.
Yeah, I was when I was Googling, I found there's a lot of GoFundMe pages for people who want to go.
I find that such a bizarre thing when I see like GoFundMe pages for people, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You'll also see people who's like, oh, we want to go on like vacation, go fund us.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah, I want to go on my own vacation.
Why would anyone give you money to do that?
Yeah.
Like it's bizarre, but then to go to make believe school.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I went to make believe school, but
so did I.
At least I was very aware of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we went to very different make believe schools. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, it's also on homework and stuff is on the honor system. You just have to say whether or not you did it.
So they don't even grade it,
no,
or mark it.
No, you just.
So then, what's the point of doing it?
I don't know, because it's on the honor system.
Okay, but that doesn't. The honor system would make sense if you were grading like your own paper or something like that, or using like a rubric or something.
Yeah.
But if you're just saying whether or not you did it, and it doesn't matter if you did anyway.
Yeah.
The honor system doesn't really come into play.
We had that at my school with textbooks, like whether or not you read the textbooks.
Well, yeah, that's different, like, and no one does. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, we talked about prophecy. We talked about miracles a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also have a very popular music program. Not program, but like the church itself and the school have like, they sell worship music that they write. So that's kind of where a lot of
it's in California, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. And
showbiz, baby.
Justin Bieber said that one of their songs is in his top 3 played songs on his phone.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's one more reason for some people to hate Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
I don't really care, but
yeah. Also, in the town, mixed responses. We talked about how they annoy people.
Yep.
But it's also, they also put a lot of money back into the city. Like, they donate a certain amount of money every year to the police station, and they will regularly go out and clean up the town and stuff like that. So.
Well, I guess you'd have to. If you're going to be that obnoxious within a community, you got to do something to make people tolerate you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, some controversial things, like there's a story about 10 years ago, a number of students and other young people from the town were partying on a mountain, and one guy fell down, and instead of calling 911, they climbed down, tried to find him so that they could faith heal him.
Oh my god.
And he's still paralyzed. He nearly died.
Really?
And it took them a long time to call 911 on him. So
yeah,
that's one thing that in the BuzzFeed article, again, that was one thing that they said was brought up by many people in the town.
Yeah, it feels like it's just a very dangerous group of people kind of living in this feedback loop of irrationality.
Yeah.
It's like, we can do this. It's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, one former student said, too, that it was, like, so for the first few weeks, he was, like, so enthralled by everything. And then as soon as he started to question things and look at it from kind of an outside perspective of what else could this be, everything shattered for him. Like,
I feel like it's a very fragile...
Yeah.
Also, when they get sorted into houses, is it different rooms in the community center?
That's what I wonder. Actually, I didn't see where they all stay. All these students coming in.
Well, it seems like they probably just come for class and then they have to live wherever.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. I don't know.
I doubt your tuition's paying for room and board.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, another thing that's been hitting the news a lot lately is something called grave soaking or grave sucking.
Grave sucking?
Or grave soaking. So, okay. So, in this type of church and in this type of charismatic ideology, I guess, there's something called soaking. And that's where you just, like, everybody spends time together and they pray for blessings and they just pray for each other for blessings. There's no sermon or anything. You're there all praying and soaking in the spirit is what they call it.
Okay.
This is something a little different where you sit on a grave and you pray for the blessings that this person had in their life to be transferred to you.
So you're trying to absorb their energy after they're dead?
Yep, they're basically vampires.
What?
Yeah. So it was pretty controversial for a while, and then they've interviewed both Kris Vallotton and Bill Johnson about it, and they both say they don't agree with it. They think it's wrong. But there's also pictures of Bill Johnson like on gravestones. But he says that was just because he was like he likes to go visit these like revivalist headstones and stuff to like inspire him to be more like them. He doesn't do it to like soak up their blessing.
You're trying to absorb their powers, and you didn't even kill them in battle.
Exactly. And he also said that he doesn't want to police his students and tell them what they can and can't do. But it's like, yeah, but if you think that's like to me that doesn't sound theologically sound.
I also think that's such a cop-out for someone who is saying, I don't want to police my students. No, but you are providing them with some sort of guidance.
Yeah, exactly.
Within the context of what you're doing, and you're kind of pushing them towards this really bizarre practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And another one was the students have been trying to walk through walls. Yeah, just like in Men Who Stare at Goats.
Any success?
Not that I know of. They have been able to stick coins to the wall, and the coins will stay for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a miracle from God, too.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. I mean, coins just sometimes stick to walls. Because that just happens sometimes.
Okay. Like you hold it in your hand and then it shoots towards the wall?
No, you press it against the wall.
Oh, for an extended period of time.
And then sometimes it'll stay.
And sometimes, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes gold falls from the ceiling, too, when they're praying.
Gold falls from the ceiling?
That's been caught on video, so...
Well, like what kind of gold?
I don't probably glitter.
Like gold bricks?
Like gold glitter. Like
the ceiling was probably just lightly put like some gold flake.
Yeah.
That occasionally it'll just drop down and fall.
Yeah.
That happened in our gym, my high school gymnasium.
Was God there?
No, it was actually just insulation.
Oh, okay.
That would occasionally flake down.
Yeah.
During assemblies and gym class and stuff like that. It wasn't God.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
We were a public school, so I don't think God...
Oh, no, God's not allowed.
God's not allowed there.
Escorted off the premises, as they say.
Yeah, by the vice principal.
By the vice principal.
Very firm talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, gold on the ceiling.
Gold on the ceiling.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Christian Hogwarts. Do you have any questions?
I want to know if... I mean, is that part of the draw? Do they call it Christian Hogwarts?
No, or that's just like a nickname that people have given it.
Okay, fair enough. Because I was going to say, there's got to be some people... Because there's a lot of weird people, too, who like Hogwarts too much.
Yeah, it's true.
Like uncomfortably too much.
Yeah.
Anything is great stuff, but at the same time, there's always going to be fanatics.
Yeah.
Even with fiction.
Oh, yeah, and that was another thing. My friend who was going to go there, her friend sent her this video comparing what some of the stuff they do at that school to a Hindu practice. And I can't remember the details right now, but she was saying that they're using this Hindu demon. But I think it's just somebody adapted this practice because it looks like there's a miracle happening.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of like we talked about, they kind of steal from cold reading, and they kind of steal from different parts, like different things. And like,
well, I think my thoughts on the stealing from Hindu practices is that also doesn't do anything. So
yeah,
you can steal away. It doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's move on to
the Christian rock lyric of the week.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
Yeah, so this week we have a metal band.
Oh, metal.
So when I'm saying this,
gold
just
on the ceiling.
Imagine that I'm screaming it.
All right.
So it's a band called Soulfly. It's a song called Prophecy. I see the Red Sea part in front of me. I see the desert clouds bleed above me. I'm with the prophets on the final destiny. We'll fight the heathens and the ghost enemy. So it's a song about prophecy, and
that's not too bad. I mean, that's pretty metal.
That's true. It was pretty metal. It's a pretty metal song. So.
I mean, that wasn't crazy. I've heard worse writing in this music.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And it's actually kind of a catchy song too.
Is it a catchy song?
Yeah,
a little more like pop metal.
Yeah, no, like it's like
pretty.
Like
okay.
yeah, like screamo.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should have done the song that Bieber has on his top 3.
That's true.
That would have been a good one.
But I couldn't find any bad lyrics, and it is just like. I mean, I guess there were. It's just like a standard worship song. Like, it's just a standard God's good. We think he's the coolest guy ever. I can bring it up, though.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's talk about that one, too.
Okay.
I think that's a funny thing. I mean, I guess how many love songs are there where they're just like, I love this girl, or I love this guy, or whatever. They're all the same. Just slight variations on a basic theme.
What is it? No Longer Slaves or something?
No Longer Slaves.
Slaves no longer. Okay. Oh, No Longer Slaves. Okay. You have unraveled.
Oh, who is this by?
Bethel Music.
Bethel Music.
Yeah. So this is like the schools or the church's music.
Is that like their house band?
Their house band. Yeah.
Okay.
You unravel me with the melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies. Till all my fears have gone, I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm a child of God. And it goes on like that.
Again, pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
I'd have to hear the beat to really get an idea for it.
The first one was like, I'm a metal song. This one's more like slow piano, and we're like singing slow, like, I don't know, Radiohead.
Yeah, I should probably find some just like regular song lyrics.
Yeah.
That could be
the regular song
bad worship music.
Yeah. There was somebody did a a quiz that was you had to guess whether it was 50 Shades of Grey or a Christian worship song.
Really?
Yeah. We should play that on here sometime.
Both very poorly written. I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for listening.
And
thanks everyone for listening, and I hope you have a great week. 2 weeks. Bye. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Work, Sky Moon.